Bethlehem's radio station went on the air officially February 8, 1947. But the idea for a local Bethlehem station goes back even further to the 1930s. From the beginning, the local paper, the Bethlehem Globe-Times, was at the front line regarding this idea. In 1938, and just before the grand lighting of Bethlehem's Star on South Mountain, Roland Adams, the newspaper publisher, tried to get other radio stations to broadcast this important event. Every station he approached rebuffed his efforts, and as a result, he was even more motivated to bring Bethlehem its very own radio station. However, officials in Washington, D.C. had a rule regarding newspaper ownership of radio stations within the same municipality, and again he was turned down. In 1943, this regulation was relaxed, and again, Adams reapplied for a license, this time succeeding. In 1945, a license for both AM and FM authority was granted to the Globe-Times. The owners quickly planned to build a state-of-the-art studio and offices near the Globe-Times on Broadhead Avenue. The new building had 3 studios and specially designed equipment provided by RCA. At the time of its opening in 1946-47, the studio was the newest, most modern, and best equipped anywhere, especially for a small city. 2 broadcast towers were built, one for AM and one for FM. At the time an FM license was granted, WGPA-FM was one of only 130 in the entire nation. Because the AM station was granted the 1100 kilocycles spot on the dial, it had to become a relatively low-power daytime-only station since a clear channel station operating at 1100 kilocycles already existed. That station was a powerful 50,000-watt station in Cleveland, Ohio. From the beginning, WGPA AM and FM simulcasted their programming, and did so through the 1960s. Local news, weather, and sports, along with music, both live and transcribed, was part of the daily schedule. As far as advertising went, the Globe-Times ad accounts were often expanded to the station so that the paper enjoyed a kind of advertising monopoly in the community. WGPA maintained a middle-of-the-road format through the 50s and 60s, but change was approaching. By the 1960s, the FCC began cracking down on monopolies such as newspaper ownership of radio and TV stations. In 1968, WGPA finally separated the AM and FM stations into 2 different formats, with AM remaining the same but FM becoming beautiful music. In 1972, the FCC began decentralization of stations and newspapers, and WGPA was sold to Arthur Holt for $265,000. Holt was a media broker who automated the AM station and changed the name of the FM side to WEZV, Easy 95. It continued to program light music. Holt was able to spot a trend, which was that FM was finally surpassing AM in popularity and in value. As a result, he kept the FM station, but sold the AM side to Henry Chadwick for $400,000. Chadwick had been general manager at Philadelphia's WPVI. Holt, it turns out, had purchased a valuable commodity, FM, at AM prices. WEZV would become WZZO Z95 by 1980 and spent some time at the Westgate Mall before moving to Whitehall in 1982. In 1982, WGPA's lease expired, and Hank Chadwick decided to move the station. WGPA moved to the top floor of the Dotson building, where it would remain for many years. Hank Chadwick was responsible for bringing life back to the station, returning to live programming. He was also the man who gave WGPA its new identity, Sunny 1100. This identity is actually protected by copyright. When Hank Chadwick became ill, he sold WGPA AM to Joe Timmer in 1992. Timmer owned the station from 1992 until 2014. Under Timmer, WGPA continued to serve the Bethlehem area with music variety and a number of talk shows, and of course with Daily Polka. Timmer moved the station to East Broad Street when he lost his lease at the Dotson building. Today, father and son team of Ronald and Christopher Crumblis of Berks County and their company, CC Broadcasting LLC, owns WGPA. The station continues to broadcast daily, playing a new format and trying to remain relevant in the digital age. WGPA streams its programming on the internet and offers a mix of network news, local traffic, and even some locally produced music programs. Now, more than 70 years later, WGPA continues to be Bethlehem's radio station, providing a mix of entertainment, information, and public service to the area. The new owners hold a very important responsibility to keep this Bethlehem institution going into an uncertain future, well aware of the station's history and its responsibility to its many loyal daily listeners.